So it seems like every day we learn a little bit more about the Nintendo Switch 2, but of course, no real thanks to Nintendo for that. We've talked recently about different patents that have come up for controllers and how you can mount the controllers on the system itself, giving you a bit more freedom. Of course, the controller having mouse like capabilities as well as teased in the initial trailer video, but there's still a lot of questions when it comes to this system. We will be learning about things on April 2nd. But for some people, that's not soon enough. Some of the main questions, of course, are always going to be, well, what games are going to be on this thing and how much is this thing going to cost? Now, there's been lots of rumors and speculation on both of these things, but when it comes to games, it seems like there is a bit of a, silencing tactic being done by Nintendo when it comes to third-party companies, as far as not announcing your games as coming to the platform, because then you could potentially get a release date out of that, which is yet another mystery of the system. But the price point is something that has been heavily debated, and Nintendo themselves have actually commented on these things, saying that, President Furukawa saying that they consider the affordability customers expect from the company when talking about the Switch 2. Now, of course, you have newer technology in here, you have inflation, you have potential tariffs on this sort of thing. But when you look at how Nintendo handles themselves in the console marketplace, one thing is always for sure. They're either the cheapest on the marketplace or towards the end of the cheapest on the marketplace when it comes to the hardware. It's something that they're known for. And I understand that competition isn't quite the same as it used to be anymore. It seems like these companies don't care if you buy their platform, but Nintendo does care if you buy their platform. So they're going to position themselves at a cheaper price point. But when you look at the current marketplace of systems, of course, you have your heavy hitters with the $500 plus versions with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, but there are cheaper alternatives out there in that do very similar things. The discless system is $450 with the PlayStation 5. You, of course, has the Xbox Series S, which is a weaker system, but still will play most of the games, if not all of them, just at lower settings. So trying to figure out a price point for this system has had a lot of people debating. A lot of people seem to have something that they think in their mind that this system is going to cost, but maybe we have a little bit of an inclination of actually how much this is going to cost, because it seems like there's an interesting story coming out of Costco in Canada. Now, this is being talked about by a Family Boards user, and I would put the freaking story so that you could read it in the comments or in the description box, but it's like hidden and you have to be like a member of Family Boards in order to read it. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I got this information off of a website, hothardware.com. I will link that in the description box down below so you can go visit them. But like, what's the point of like this isn't some sort of big secret thing. Like, it's not anything like super important. It is video games and, whatever. But an image and a little story that went along with this image did pop up over on Family Boards. I'll put up the image here right now, and you can see here that this is a Nintendo Switch Palsy holder. Okay, item number 2424145, $499.99 with a date of February 8th, 2025. Now, the person who posted this is a Family Boards user by the name of Proteus Ridley, and they said the following about this image and the story attached to it. In my 5 years of working here, I have never seen a placeholder for anything. Not saying this is the Switch 2, but it may be. The price could be a placeholder as well. I can take a picture of our actual system in case you think I'm lying. I just noticed the spelling error. So yes, this could just be a placeholder price. This could just be a placeholder SKU for something. But obviously, Nintendo's like not releasing a new iteration of the Switch between now and the launch of the Switch 2. Now, $499.99 Canadian translates roughly to $350 US, and that's a little bit cheaper than I think some people are potentially expecting with this system. If you ask me, I would say the system is going to cost $400. Now, I'm not saying that this is necessarily indicative of a concrete price point, but I think that this is at least something to kind of go off and speculate on. Now, when it comes to $350, you might be be saying to yourself, well, RGT, there's already a Nintendo Switch that's on the marketplace for $350, the Nintendo Switch OLED. Well, interestingly enough, the person who posted this actually followed up and said something I thought was very, very interesting. Currently, we do not have replacements for our Switch OLED models we currently have. They are pending delete, and we are not receiving more of these units. So essentially what that is saying is kind of two different things. One, this listing is not for a Switch OLED because, well, they're putting a stop to the Switch OLED in their system. They're pending delete and they're not receiving any more of those units. So you wouldn't make a placeholder for that. But two, and more importantly, they're not receiving any more additional Switch OLED units. And this is something that I've actually theorized before as a potential possibility of what Nintendo could do. Because really, if you think about it, they're obviously not going to release the Nintendo Switch 2 at $350 when the Switch OLED is $350, even $400 for the Switch 2, and having a $350 OLED on the marketplace at the same time doesn't make a lot of sense, because who's going to buy the OLED when you could buy the Switch 2 and it plays all the new games plus the old games, unless you're really into Labo or something like that. So what if Nintendo were to phase out the Switch OLED and not manufacture them anymore? You could still make the standard Nintendo Switch and the Switch Lite, but cut the prices of those. And then if you do that, maybe you could come in at the $350 price point. I still think that that's a little too low. You know, I think most people are probably expecting $400. But if you do just a translation from 500 Canadian, it's roughly $350 US. Now, obviously, I don't think you're going to save money if this is the case. If this is 500 Canadian dollars, I don't think you're going to save money by buying a Canadian version, because after like shipping and stuff like that, you'll probably be spending more than you would on the system by buying it in the US. And of course, systems can be different prices in different regions. We've seen different companies like Sony and Microsoft raise the price of things like their PlayStation and their Xbox in certain regions because of things like inflation. Hell, Nintendo themselves just raised the price of Nintendo Switch Online in some Latin American countries in order to keep up with inflation rates. So, you know, just something to think about with this, though, because if you know anything about Costco, like, this is the font they use. Now, obviously, somebody could make this, and, you know, I guess you could make it, but if you made it, why would you go to Family Boards and then hide what you have? Like, why would you do that? I would think that this would be something you would put all over the place. You'd put it on social medias and all sorts of stuff, you know, a Twitter account and stuff like that, or at least not hide the story itself so that everyone could see it, and then you can get your kudos or your backlash whenever it comes to be true or not true. So I don't know, man, just something to think about with this. I think there is a possibility of the Switch OLED, you know, getting phased out, and then the Switch 2 kind of replaces that. They liquidate the prices of the Switch and the Switch Lite, and everyone's kind of happy with that. Hell, do some colorways of a Switch Lite, and maybe I'll buy one. You know, give me some nice little graphics on it or something. Something fun like you did with the 3DS and 2DS, which, of course, those systems are worth a lot of money now. Let me know what you think of this in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to hit like, subscribe if you are new. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.